Hello again, everybody. Well, today we're going to tackle another how-to video. I was talking to an individual yesterday who was inquiring on how I make my airlines, and I told him, I says, well, maybe instead of explaining the whole process, maybe I'd just make a quick little video, and that way I could share to whoever else might be wondering about the same topic, and help as many people as I can at once instead of just one. So let's jump right in, and I'll show how I make my airlines for these model trucks, and we'll go from there. Hope everybody's surviving their quarantine from this coronavirus. My family hasn't been too affected. My wife's a school teacher and she has to teach from home, and I'm considered an essential employee, so life kind of goes on for me. So hope everyone else is surviving, whoever's watching, and we pray and help and send my love out to whoever might be struggling with the quarantine and could use some help, and I'll send my blessings and good vibes that way. So we'll jump back into this airline making, and let's see, when I first come up with the way I do my airlines, I mean, I'm not saying the way I do it is perfect, but it's worked for me and it may work for you, and I'm always looking for suggestions. So if you have a better way of doing it, shoot me a message and share how you do it. I'm not saying my stuff's the best or not, but like I said, if you got something better, shoot it my way. I'm willing to try something new, because that's what's nice about this hobby, is you always try something new and always expanding your knowledge. And the day you quit learning is a bad day, in my opinion. So when I started, I didn't know what to use. So, and that may be your problem. You may just not know what to use, how to get started, and that's why I decided I'll share why I started and what I use. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it 100 times. You got to use your imagination, and you got to search out of the ordinary for items to use for things. And when I first started, I tried thin wire, thick wire. It just was just metal wire. It just didn't work. It was too thick. It didn't bend. It was hard to work with, until I just started searching and looking at things, and how I honestly don't remember. It's been a few years back when I come up with the material I use for the airlines, and I was just curious one day, and I used two different things, because the one item I use is old phone wire. Let's see. Let me go ahead and flip this camera around real quick, and we can look at it. All right, like the one I use two different kinds, just on the simple fact is this one here is an old phone cord. I mean, you can see the end. I mean, in the digital world we go to, a lot of stuff's going cordless, and a lot of people don't have home phones anymore. Well, this is an old wire from a home phone. I had it laying around the house because we don't have a home phone no more. Just use cell phones. And I got looking at this plug one day, and I could see the colored wires inside. Focus in on there. But it's got colored wires, so I just cut the cord apart one day and just see what was inside and seen. And lo and behold, this is how I come up with the material I use for my airlines. So you can see you got a black one, a red one, a green one, and a yellow one. Well, mainly I just use the black and red out of these ones, but as a lot of your truck drivers know, you got a red line and a blue line, and black or green for your electrical plugs. And also, if you have black, you can use that for like hydraulic hoses or whatnot. So I needed a blue one. So I had this old Cat 5 cable laying around the house. Cat 5 internet cable, Ethernet cord I think it's called. Well, I tore them apart. Well, look, I found a blue wire in there, and it's also got green and brown and orange. I mean, if you want to get creative, if you want to color match a color match your model, or if you want to be, you know, correct, you know, either way. So, like I said, I use my imagination and I come up with this, found something to use. So I decided to try it one day. I'm like, I'll tear them out and I'll try it. So I did, and it turned out and worked really well. And that's how I've made all my airlines from there on out. You can see that one's coiled up. That one I just braided. And, you know, a lot of my model trucks there has got them. So, the only downfall that I haven't found or haven't made or come up with is Gladhands. I know other model truck scales have got, you know, scale Gladhands, and I'm hoping somebody comes up with some scale Gladhands one day, but until then, what I used is I went with the kind of the quick connect look instead of the Gladhands. The quick connect look quick connect's kind of like a hydraulic fitting. So what I use is just a piece of styrene. I believe this is 3/32 styrene tubing. When I measured it, I think that's what I measured it up to be. It was 3/32. I might have said 5/32, but it's 3/32. Pretty thin. So what I'll do is I'll just cut a piece off of that, and you know, I'll just hard mount them. You can kind of see how I've mounted them on the deck plate of that truck and on the front of the trailers. But they just slip, you know, you can glue them on and you can slip them ends of your hoses right on in. And they hold pretty good because they're usually just stationary, you know, they're not moving around a lot. So they work, they function. And I mean, you go to gluing these wires into there if you want to make them permanent, but I usually don't. I usually leave mine free, so if I ever wanted to play with them and switch trucks and trailers around, you can kind of move it around. So, but today I figured I would actually show the process. I've actually convinced my beautiful wife to come and hold the camera for me while I actually demonstrate how I curled them. So it takes this was a trial and error thing too. Basically all I do is I just curl it around this screwdriver and it takes shape, and then it kind of turns into a spring. But I've come up with a few things that help them keep that shape, and that's I apply a little heat to it and then cool it off, and then it kind of holds its shape. The coating around the wires kind of, once you heat it up and then flash cool it off, it helps hold its shape. So I'm gonna go convince the wife, and we'll go ahead and make a little demonstration. All right, everybody. You see I got both my hands here. I got my beautiful wife to come hold the camera so we can do a little demonstration. But what I use is I get the smallest screwdriver I can get that's, you know, a perfect straight shaft. That way you get a nice consistent curl on your airline itself. So I've just cut a piece off. I mean, usually you just gotta guess your distance. I usually cut a little bit longer, but I've got about 5 inches cut off. Usually have to about around 6 or 8 inches, depending on how long airlines you're making. Because they'll stretch out a little bit, but you'll just have to play with it, trial and error, to come up with your proper length. So basically all I do here is I just start by holding one end, pinch one end on the screwdriver, and then I just wrap it around the shaft of the screwdriver and come down just tight as I can get it, and tight stay. And then I usually wrap it around to where I can hold it. It's kind of tricky, but where you can hold it with one hand, hold both ends. Like I said, it's kind of tricky, and then you can kind of slide it together if you need to. Okay, then I'll just hold it. Then I've borrowed my wife's hair dryer here. That way you can use it to heat up. I just use the low blowing setting and just the warm setting, because you're going to kind of burn your fingers a little bit, but not too bad. So you just go ahead and heat that up just on the warm setting and low. So just get a little bit of heat. Just be careful not to burn your fingers, because all you're really doing is heating up that plastic around that wire just so it kind of gets so air hold the shape, and you kind of get both sides. That just takes a second. Just keep moving just so you don't burn your fingers. I mean, if you could use gloves, but I think that'd be more in the way. So just be real careful. Don't use a heat gun or anything like that, because they'll get real hot. Just use, like I said, a hair dryer. So you just need a little bit of heat to heat up that plastic coating just so it'll take some shape. Okay. Might need a little bit longer. We'll see how we do. And then I come over here, and I usually do this over by close to a sink, but we'll do it in a bowl of water. Then I just go ahead and flash cool it with cold water. That kind of helps that plastic coating just kind of flash cool, so it kind of holds its shape a little bit better. Alright, soak that there. And it should just slide off your screwdriver. And there you go. You got you a nice tight curl airline. So then you got two ends to, like I said, we talked about the quick connect, so you can plug into your quick connects. They slide right on in. You can cut your piece off. They slide right on. And you can have your Gladhands or quick connects or whatever you call them. But that's it. That's basically all I do when it comes to airlines, and that's, like I said, if you have any better way, go ahead and share them with me. But that's how I do mine. Pretty simple, and I hope this helps anyone that could need the help with airlines. And you guys have a good rest of the week, and I hope you all survive this quarantine, and I hope that we can get through this as a country and world, more or less world. I guess it ain't just the country, but all over the world. But happy building, and we'll catch you on the next one.